My name's Jeff Curry, and on behalf of my co-conveners, Professor Hosen Keat, Associate Professor Socrates Angelides and Matthew Ayres, I'd like to invite you to the 50th Annual Scientific Meeting of the Australian and New Zealand Society of Nuclear Medicine to be held in Sydney from the 24th to 26th of April at the new International Convention Centre at Darling Harbour. Whether you're a regular attendee at the annual scientific meeting of the ANZSNM, a previous attendee that may have disengaged recently, an infrequent attendee, or even if you've never attended before, this brief presentation is aimed at highlighting a few of the key areas that the conference has been re-engineered and reinvigorated. We've worked very hard to ensure the needs of all stakeholders have been accommodated in a well-balanced and exciting program. The program itself celebrates the amazing role nuclear medicine and molecular imaging plays in diagnosis and therapy, but also recognises the transdisciplinary collaboration required for delivery of precision medicine. The program offers pathways for our colleagues in radiology, oncology and other specialist areas. Importantly, this conference is a commitment of the ANZSNM community to the broader community in our region and globally. No longer a national conference, the program expands its horizons to establish its footprint as a major international conference in nuclear medicine and molecular imaging, with a strong commitment and partnership with our colleagues throughout Asia, North America and across Europe. There are a number of key aspects of the planning that require re-engineering or reinvigoration. The first of those was to make the program more accessible to all of our colleagues. Affordability has been a key concern with significant competition for the professional development funds in our departments. Our vision for 2020 is to provide delegates with more value for less cost, and to that end will provide more flexible registration options. Both registration and the program offer a degree of flexibility to allow the entire nuclear medicine community to have the opportunity to engage meaningfully with the conference and their colleagues at the conference. We've created pathways in the program that will allow a full program of 3 days, 2 days, 1 day, no matter what your background interests are. We've also provided that flexibility to have a weekend program or the 3-day program including the pre-conference symposium, and this may enhance the justification for those travelling longer distances to come to the program. Of course, there are numerous social aspects of the program, including the opportunity to respect and honour our war veterans at the dawn service on Anzac Day. The educational value of the program has been examined, and a balance of speakers, topics and workshops has been designed to ensure that all delegates have the opportunity for high quality educational experiences. This represents a key aspect of value for your investment. No conference can be successful without the support of a large number of industry-minded sponsors. Nuclear medicine has always enjoyed proactive and enthusiastic support from our sponsors, but sustainability and competition for sponsorship dollars creates a significant tension in that market. We are designing a conference and themes and programs to go with that will provide increased engagement and visibility for our sponsors, providing enhanced return on investment. We need our sponsors reflecting on the conference and seeing the tangible benefits to their business well beyond their sponsorship investment. This is our marquee event, and we are hoping to see our sponsors highly engaged in its success. In the end, the conference is yours. It belongs to the delegates. So we're using the feedback from delegates, sponsors and other stakeholders to shape the program to your personal and professional needs. A simple example was our recent decision to pay a little bit more for the venue cost to ensure that the trade exhibit and the conference presentations rooms were co-located on the same level rather than being split over several levels. This will actually enhance the delegate and the sponsor experience. The conference should be a vehicle for us as individuals and collectively as a profession to celebrate those non-clinically focused capabilities. It is an opportunity to show leadership in sustainability for the profession as well as the environment, global citizenship, leadership, advocacy for the profession and our patients, and collegiality within and outside our ranks. To profile our insight, our innovation, our inspiration, our impact and our inclusiveness, which all ties back to our central theme of local innovation and global inspiration. We are very excited that the ANZSNM 2020 is not only a celebration of the amazing life-saving and life-changing diagnosis and therapy, plus the cutting-edge science we use to do that, But it's also a celebration of diversity, inclusiveness, equality, leadership, and cultural proficiency, and we'll be offering workshops presented by champions in all of those domains. Some of those presenters include, but are not limited to, Professor Janelle Wheat, Dr. Elizabeth Hawke, Associate Professor Kate Thomas, and Alana Vile. It's easy to talk about equity and diversity, but much harder to provide leadership in them. We are proud that in seeking expert speakers for the ANZSNM 2020, that we have a rich melting pot of diverse speakers across age, gender, ethnicity, and social domains. This is not by design, but rather by chance. And because it was by chance, this reflects an industry that provides leadership in diversity, something we should all be proud of. Under that central theme, we have capitalised on the year 2020 to create 2 apt sub-themes through the program. In our 50th annual scientific meeting, it is appropriate to pause and reflect on where we've come from and to celebrate the strength of where we are today, sitting on the shoulders of the giants that came before us. 2020 hindsight is one of those sub-themes that will celebrate those legends of nuclear medicine that have delivered to us and where we are today. 2020 vision is the second sub-theme that strategically looks at the future and in doing so recognises and celebrates the emerging leaders of our profession. Indeed, our list of invited speakers, both internationally and locally, is a healthy mix of those established leaders or legends and, of course, the emerging leaders of our profession. Other than our array of speakers, the program itself recognises our retired legends, and the gala dinner will be a legends dinner. We'll ask our special interest groups and our branches to nominate their retired legends and also to nominate their emerging leaders so that we can have some of those celebrated and recognised in the program and at the gala dinner. We hope to have each session across the 4 days co-chaired by both an established leader or retired legend and an emerging leader of our profession. We're very excited about the array of speakers that we've been able to attract so far for the conference, remembering that this presentation is 12 months ahead of the conference, so we'll have additional speakers and changes to the program. But at the moment we have a very strong program, and I wanted to recognise our 6 main international keynote speakers for their role and agreeing to present their expertise at our conference. So we have Professor Dan Berman and Professor Lionel Zakia, who have to be considered legends of nuclear medicine in keeping with our theme of the conference. Of course, we have Eric Rowan and Rand Klein, who are certainly emerging leaders internationally and will have a really strong impact on the program. And then we have our current leaders, who are people like Wim Oyen, who is the incoming president of the ANM, and Vaskan Dilzan, who is the incoming president of the SNMMI. So we're very fortunate to have these gentlemen coming along as keynote speakers, and they will be complemented by a very strong array of speakers from our local ranks as well as internationally. Other than the 6 invited speakers just outlined, we're very fortunate to have a very strong program of other keynote invited speakers. And I just wanted to recognise a few of them. At the top of the list, I really need to recognise Dr. Kathy Willison, who's giving the Lowenthal lecture, and Professor Chris Rowe, who's giving the Pioneer lecture. Both very deserving recipients of those honours, and we'll be really intrigued to hear what they've got to present. Internationally, we're very fortunate. We've got Dr. Lydia Cunha coming from Portugal. We have Dr. Elizabeth Hawke coming from Stanford to do a number of presentations. We also have Amir Najir coming from MD Anderson, Mark Crosswaite and David Gilmore coming from the technologist section of the SNMMI. Brian Ziegler, amazing chemist, will provide some really good insights, and Associate Professor Luis Metello, also from Portugal. That's just a short list. We have a number of other speakers that have been or will be added to the program over the next 12 months. And of course we can't ignore the fantastic array of local speakers that have agreed to come along and present, including Louise Emmett, Ros Francis, Barry Ellison, Max Zuber, Andrew Scott, Vijay Kumar, who was approaching retirement at that time, Hosen Kiat, and of course Michael Hoffman, Steve Meikle, Dale Bailey, Gordon Chan, Socrates Angelides, as well as Michael Holmes from New Zealand, who's a urologist, will provide some really good insights. So really solid program. And of course, as I said, this is recorded 12 months in advance of the presentation. So this is just the speakers that we have at this particular point. And of course, we'll have others that are added along the way. A quick snapshot of the program, obviously starting on Friday the 24th of April 2020 at the International Convention Centre in Sydney at Darling Harbour there. And the pre-conference symposium will be an intelligent imaging summit. We've given it the date 2020 obviously, but we hope that this is an imaging summit that will occur annually moving forward, whether it's associated with the ASM or outside of the ASM, is that just with the emergence of radiomics, artificial intelligence, deep learning, big data, and the connection of those with precision medicine and precision nuclear medicine are highly important, and we would like to think that this is the first of many intelligent imaging summits moving forward. So that's the pre-conference symposium on Friday the 24th at the Convention Centre, so you won't have to travel away from the main site. And that will be followed by opening plenary session, which will include 3 key speakers, which I'll outline shortly. The opening ceremony, the welcome reception, the AANMS dinner, and the technologist party. The Saturday is Anzac Day, so we're hoping to organise bus transport for those that are interested to go to the dawn service, and maybe quarantining a room during the morning tea break to have some traditional two-up with obviously all the proceedings going to donating to a charity. But there'll be 2 plenaries, one at the beginning and one at the end of the day. They'll include Lowenthal lectures and Pioneer lectures, special interest group sessions, awards sessions, posters, and some feature lectures as well, and finish the day with the gala dinner, which will be in the theme of a Legends dinner. The Sunday again will commence with plenary sessions. There'll be a session at the end that will be also a plenary session. So it's a full day program. It won't be finishing after lunch or just before afternoon tea. There'll be a full 3-day program for this particular conference. There'll be specialisation sessions as well as abstract presentations and posters as well. Later that night we're planning on having a reunion dinner for University of Sydney, University of Newcastle and Charles Sturt University graduates and faculty over the last couple of decades. Now I don't want to go into too much detail on the program. It'll just it'll be available on the website for people to look at, and we'll profile it via social media as well. But I just wanted to give a bit of an insight into the value that you'll get as a delegate or as a sponsor associated with the program. So it's a solid 3-day program, some amazing speakers. The first part of the program on Friday the 24th of April 2020 will be the Intelligent Imaging Summit, which will be the pre-conference symposium. It'll be in the same theatre as the rest of the main program, the plenary sessions from the main program. So the Piedmont Theatre, which will house 1,000 people, and hopefully we'll get that many people coming along. So it's obviously focused on radiomics, artificial intelligence, deep learning, and big data, and the role that they play in precision medicine, in particular around nuclear medicine and radiology. And this is a really important area for us moving forward. Nuclear medicine has been a little bit left behind in this department, and radiology has sort of forged ahead. I think that reflects in part, our embracing of this kind of technology, but just under a different name. So we've kind of been doing radiomics and artificial intelligence for a long time. We just haven't been calling it that. And as everyone else has sort of caught up to us and using that branding, we've sort of been a little bit slow in adopting that branding. So it's still there, and so we need to do a little bit of catch up to keep us on the forefront of precision medicine. So some amazing speakers from Australia and overseas, some well-established leaders in the profession, and some emerging leaders as well. So you can see a fairly solid program there. With a panel discussion at the end, finishing with afternoon tea. And immediately following afternoon tea, we'll actually have the opening plenary session of the main conference. And so this is the opening plenary session. As you can see, it's still in the Piermont Theatre, immediately following afternoon tea. And we'll actually have our three opening speakers, our two major invited speakers in Professor Wim Oyen and Professor Eric Rowan. And then we want to honour Professor Vijay Kumar by giving a keynote address during that plenary session. Because of Vijay's contribution to the ANZSNM over many, many decades, but also his international contributions through the IAEA. That'll be followed by a welcome reception and the opening of the trade exhibit, and then later that night the AANMS Fellows Dinner and the Technologist Party. Saturday of the program is Anzac Day, so we want to honour Anzac Day and how special that is to our Australian New Zealand delegates. And so we'll provide we'll organise bus transport for those that want to attend a dawn service. There'll also be sponsor breakfast sessions. The first session of the day will be our second plenary session. So obviously no other sessions running concurrently, featuring Dan Berman and Chris Rowe delivering the Pioneer lecture. But we also have Steve Meikle giving us an update on as a keynote address on the whole body PET system. After morning tea, we break up into those traditional special interest group sessions that will include the AGMs, will include invited speakers as well as potentially abstract presentations, but there'll be also concurrent with that a feature session with 4 of our big name invited speakers, including Eric Rowe and Rand Klein, Lydia Cunha from Portugal, and Brian Ziegler will do a session on radiochemistry, probably click chemistry, that everyone will love. Then there'll be a lunch session with poster viewing. After lunch, there'll be continued concurrent sessions broken into the special interest group themes, and they'll include award presentations, submitted abstract presentations, as well as invited speaker presentations. And concurrently with that, there'll be feature session 2, and feature session 2 will focus on prostate cancer theranostics, and feature Wim Oyen, Michael Holmes, Louise Emmett and Michael Hoffman, which will be a very exciting session. Afternoon tea will be followed by the final plenary of Saturday, and so the plenary of Saturday will feature Dr. Kathy Willison giving the Lowenthal lecture, and then a presentation from Professor Vaskan Dilzen looking at the role of PET in cardiac device infections, and there'll be a third presentation by Associate Professor Amir Najir looking at immuno-PET. At the end of the day, there'll be a gala dinner, and we're focusing on the Legends dinner, recognising the legends of our profession on our 50th anniversary, and of course the awards presentations as well. Sunday, again, they'll start with sponsor breakfast sessions. There'll be a plenary to start the day featuring Lionel Zakia, Rand Klein, and Associate Professor Barry Ellison doing a presentation on CTCA. Morning tea will be followed by breaking up into concurrent sessions that will focus on specialisations as well as some workshops, and again the feature sessions with Steve Meikle, Rand Klein, Lydia Cunha and Lewis Metello. It is a full day on Sunday, so after lunch on Sunday there'll be continuation of concurrent sessions, including some presentations around veterinary imaging, instrumentation, general imaging, oncology, and some additional workshops. But the feature session 4, will have a number of presentations, including Michael Holmes looking at the role of nuclear medicine in neurology, Vaskan Dilzen looking at molecular imaging and myocardial viability. Professor Dan Berman will present on dual isotope imaging cardiac amyloidosis, and there'll be a 4th presentation from Professor Michael Hoffman looking at some more novel applications of gallium-68 PET imaging. Afternoon tea will be followed by the last plenary session of the day, and then the close. So the last plenary session of the day will include keynote addresses from Andrew Scott and Lionel Zakia, an overview of the conference, so reflection on the 2020 conference, a presentation from the 2021 conveners, and then the close by the President. We're hoping to have an alumni dinner or reunion dinner for CSU, University of Newcastle and University of Sydney nuclear medicine communities on Sunday night. That's all in the planning process. Registration itself, we want to be as flexible and affordable as possible. We want it to be accessible to all members of the ANZSNM and the nuclear medicine community that probably should be part of the membership of the ANZSNM. So you can register for one day. You can register for the 2 days of the Saturday, the Sunday, and of course the 2-day registration for the main program includes the Friday night opening plenary session and opening ceremony, or there'll be discounts for 3-day registration that will include the main program plus the pre-conference symposium. Technologists will be able to register for all of the 3 packages that we've just described. And importantly is that the starting rate, excluding students, there's a really good discount for students, but technologists and those from developing countries can register for as little as $550 if they get in early and they want to forego the gala dinner. So we've tried to make it as affordable as possible, and you can see the quality of the program that's available. It really is value for $550. Of course, there's a number of packages. That $550 would be early bird registration for technologists and nurses in the education package, which is just the 2-day program that includes the opening plenary on the Friday night and excludes the gala dinner. And of course, it would go up in value for other forms of registration, but also if you decide to adopt the education and networking package, that would include the standard 2-day program for Saturday, Sunday, plus the Friday plenary session, but it will include the gala dinner. And of course, an extended package offers a significant discount to register for all 3 days, including the pre-conference symposium plus the gala dinner. So whether you're part of the Australian and New Zealand nuclear medicine community, the Asian nuclear medicine community, or those in Europe and North America, or indeed colleagues from radiology, oncology or other specialist areas, come and join us in Sydney in 2020 to celebrate the last 50 years of nuclear medicine through the annual scientific meeting, and look forward to the next 50. Engage in a high-powered and exciting program of 1, 2 or 3 days in one of the most beautiful cities in the world, on the most amazing harbour in the world.